Okay, the last time I had put a quick summary of my life and I did a quick rundown, but didn't go into detail. This time I'm going to go into a little bit of detail and continue it on in another video. These videos, I'm going to try and keep them under 10 minutes. Try my best. But sometimes when I get into a story, time may run over. So I apologize for that. And if I look like I'm getting distracted, it's because I'm not distracted. It's just the fact that sometimes I look at something when I'm in deep thought about what to say next. So, um, like I said in the previous video, is that I was adopted when I was 3 years old. So it was my oldest brother. His name is L.Y. My second oldest brother is Christopher James, and then myself. So I believe that both of my brothers were adopted about the same time, and they went through hardship. And when I get the chance, I'll get the story from my oldest brother on that and share it with you guys. But um, after my brothers were adopted, just back up a little bit, is that when I was 3 years, well, not 3 years old, but when after I was born, my mother didn't want anybody from the family adopting me. So she gave me up to the nursing home. And I believe after that, she passed away. And she passed away from being an alcoholic, or as bootleggers, as we call it around here, and or an alcoholic, anyways. And so I stayed at a missionary until I was 3 years old, where my grandmother adopted me and my brothers, but she adopted my brothers first, and I was the last to be adopted. And I remember that day. I don't remember being at the mission. I think I do. I don't know. It's still sketchy. And but anyways, I remember being in the truck and standing on the seat of the vehicle and getting out and then coming into the current home that I'm in right now. And but when I came in, that's when I remember coming down this hallway, and it was winter time, and I remember the first thing I seen going into my grandparents' bedroom was seeing the heater, and it was an old style heater, and then my grandfather laying on the bed. And I laugh because I still remember my grandfather likes to, back then when he was alive, he liked to, and he always did it, sleep with his jeans or lay in bed with his jeans on, no shirt, no shoes on, reading newspaper. And when he read newspaper, he always tossed them on the floor. That's the first thing that I seen. And oh my God. And he had like a big stomach, big stomach. But anyways, it's a bit ironic because most of that time from my childhood, oh, excuse me, cuts in and out, sort of like as if I had amnesia or something. Like there's parts of my life I can't remember and some I do. So, But anyways, after that, I went. I remember that time. I don't remember. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I wasn't familiar or have any knowledge of church, but I remember being taken there by my grandparents. So they went to church quite a bit. And so I grew up in that environment, but at that age, I didn't know what was going on, and I just remember going to sleep in church a lot. Then I remember um, when my my grandfather. I don't know how you guys were really like call this process or whatever it is, but anyways, my grandmother married my grandfather. Let's just say that. 'Cause I don't know what the relationship is to be technical about it. But anyways, so my grandfather, I apologize for that. But anyways, my grandmother married my grandfather, who was a cowboy growing up his whole life. So when he worked on a ranch during the summertime, and that's when me and my brothers would wake up super early, 3 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and my oldest brother Al would be saddling up the horses, getting them in the trailer, and me and my other brother Chris would be getting ready with my grandmother, and we get in the truck and we take off down to a place that's called Carrizo Livestock Association, the ranch where my grandfather worked. And we got there at 4 in the morning. That time the cowboys, I remember, were already eating breakfast or done with it. So they would saddle up there or have their horses already saddled up, and by 4:15 they'd already be horseback, and in the dark they'd be stringing out to go start the day of their work, and they'd sometimes be gone all day. Wouldn't see them or hear from them until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night when they come back. And sometimes my grandmother cooked at the ranch. Me and my brother would be there, Chris, and my oldest brother would be out with the cowboys. And so that's what I remember growing up. And there's still more to this story and some other um, parts that are funny. But anyways, my time is almost up. I'm going to continue this story again tomorrow. But like I said, I'm trying to keep this at 10 minutes or under as much as possible. So that way I don't violate YouTube standards or get you guys bored out or anything. But if you guys have any questions or anything like that way, please let me know and I will answer it to the best of my knowledge. So, but anyways, you guys have a good day, good night, good year, whenever you watch this, and I will talk to you all later, and I'll continue the story tomorrow. So, adios.